everybody. Today, we are talking about what would the world be like without art? I'm not just talking about going to galleries, of course. No matter where you step out in the world, art will get you. Whether that's an advert, whether that's the music that you're listening to in the shop, whether it's the design of the store that you just went into, it's graffiti, it's other street art, it's nature. Wherever you go, you will always be finding art. Could you imagine if the world went silent? Could you imagine if there was no visual art around you? There was no music, there was no film, no television, no billboards, no fashion. We had no poetry, no passion. Oh, see what I did there? There would be nothing to shape the rich tapestry of our life. I am a lover of the arts, the theater, a concert, if you didn't know, of visual arts, of sculpting. I love art in nature, art in the kitchen. There's an element of creativity in absolutely everything that we take in our lives. You truly can't be without it. Look, I have a Third Man Records mug with me today. It's actually quite a large mug. Why does it look so small? Anyway, it's a large mug. Still art. Look at my little Pachaco notepad. Can you see him? Yeah. Art. It still took design. Our buildings, our homes, they may be architecture, but they are still art. It's something I think we take for granted, everything that we take in every single day. And I think some of this is we've become so totally overstimulated because no matter what, we constantly have ads coming at us, right? Whether maybe it's a bus stop or it's a billboard or, it's the side of a bus or obviously you're scrolling on your phone. Duh, ad after ad after ad. You see my posts. Well, in a way, it's still an ad, right? I'm sharing something that I made with you. Sometimes as humans, we just we're overloaded. We can't keep taking more in. And I think sometimes a lot of incredible things get filtered out. That said, art, of course, is absolutely subjective. It's just like one person may think some piece of music is incredible, somebody else might think it's shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's allowed to be subjective. That's what makes it beautiful because it is open to interpretation. Today, I think we're going to focus a little bit on concert prices. If you are in the States, you know that it's totally outrageously bananas, the cost there. And you know what? In the UK, it's very nice that we are still quite reasonably priced for shows. Where it is actually accessible for people to go and to check out a concert and see one of their favorite artists. And I do think that overall, the arts, and again, let's just focus on music here, okay? They are far more appreciated in the UK and in Europe in general than they are, for example, in North America. Here we have definitely had our problems where venues have had to shut or shows get canceled because people are not pre-purchasing tickets. I think when venues post about stuff like that, people need to take heed because the things that you claim to love, all your local shows and checking out small gigs in cool venues, it can disappear when we don't have the ticket sales up front. It can disappear when there's not as much of a turnout as we had anticipated. And so it makes sense that, if it's 150 venue, let's just say, nice and small. If they haven't sold, say, 60% of them even, it's not really financially viable for the club. It doesn't really make sense for the artist. And logistically, it just starts to make less and less sense. And so you can understand why these things do get canceled sometimes. Let's be real, though. Okay, in London, yes, London, there's a lot of shows you can go see for anywhere from 8 to 20 pounds. Okay. Tons. Like you would never, ever be bored in an evening. You could get some incredible artists, incredible shows for 8 to 18 pounds. And that's just the paid stuff. We're not even talking about the stuff that you could see for free. But people have stopped, in some ways, listening so deeply. People have stopped engaging so deeply. And it does surprise me when people complain about the cost of those small shows. And I don't think it happens that often. But people I see complain about that, but then they don't complain, whatever, dropping 200 pounds on Beyonce. She's just top of mind right now. But people don't have a problem with that. But then people won't go and see these tiny gigs. If you're thinking about, oh, I can go to 6 big shows a year at like 200 pounds each. Well, maybe you can go to a hell of a lot of little ones. But the other thing I think about a lot is the fact that I don't find it as much here, but in some ways there is some snobbery that happens with smaller bands. And here I think what I see more so is that people are like, yes, I want to discover them. I want to hear them. Like, let's go do this. Or obviously we also get like incredible legendary artists that play in little small club shows sometimes, which is just wild and so freaking cool. But the point of the story is people forget that even Led Zeppelin started in the clubs. It surprises me when people go, ooh, they're small. I don't want to see them. And it's only like they've become a good musician when they're playing bigger venues. I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit crazy because it's always nice to go out and discover new music. You may find your next favorite band at a small venue, but the only way that we can do that is if you keep going out to them. If you keep spending time going to those shows and meeting friends and listening to cool new music coming out. That's the only way that we keep all of this alive. It's so sad because everybody screams, we don't want it to die. We love this and And there are great crowds that come out, but to get that support that you need, buy your tickets early. If it's a tenner and you know what, at the end of the day, you can't make it, well, it's a tenner. It's not like your 3,000 pound Oasis tickets that some of you paid. Yeah. It's important that you get out and support artists you love, discover new music, because we never want to be in a space that we have to think about the world without art, without music, without expressions of the soul that bind us together. What shows have you been to lately? Tell me what your favorite local artist is, and I'm going to go check them out. Okay, sending you lots of love. We'll see you later. Bye. Thanks so much for joining us on the Healthy Metal Hippie podcast. For more ways to connect, go to www.healthymetalhippie.com.